It's important that we understand use of commands when we have a distance weapon like a firearm. There are other distance weapons that you can use as well, like a taser, for example, pepper spray, things. But right now, this is primarily talking about the handgun. Use of commands is going to be very important for many reasons. One, you want to take charge of that situation. You want to let that person know that you mean business and that you want them to be responding to you, and it will help you to understand what their level of compliance is going to be. There's a lot of lessons around commands. Maybe that should be its own course. Can I tell you exactly what the commands should be? No, I can't. Your commands should be happening in accordance to what's going on with your specific circumstances. We don't like to give absolute answers to contextually dependent questions, but as a generalization, we might like to say something like, drop the knife, do it now. Or they've got a knife, help somebody, drop the knife, do it now. Things like that will be things that we want to say. Maybe you have your own style or way of giving commands, but this is going to be very important. One, that you're taking charge of the situation, but two, legally, you're going to want others around you to know that there's a critical incident happening and that you're giving opportunity for that person to drop the knife if it's appropriate to the circumstances. Some circumstances there isn't time to drop the knife. In some circumstances you'll want the element of surprise, so you won't have the time or the opportunity, or it may be tactically disadvantageous for you to give commands. Again, there are no absolute answers to contextually dependent questions, okay? Another reason would be for your legal defense, knowing that you gave that person the option. But in addition to that, the research shows that over 50% of the time that a third person will intervene if there's a knife attack to help stop that attack from taking place. So that can draw attention to what's happening to your circumstances, so you might be able to get additional help. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about that. Typically when we're giving commands, we'll want to have our weapon staged in some way. So maybe you have your hand already on your weapon here in what we call position 1, or where the weapon is staged. Maybe you'll have your weapon here in compressed tight ready position while you're giving commands. I don't know where that will be. The next question then would be, how would you use your weapon as a deterrent? Something I'd like to strongly recommend is that you familiarize yourself with what the laws are in your particular jurisdiction for when it is legal and when it is not legal to use your weapon as a deterrent. Okay, very important for you to understand. Then the next question would be, as you're using your weapon as a deterrent, where can the muzzle be pointed? In most cases, when you are reasonably in imminent or immediate fear of death or great bodily harm, you can have that muzzle pointed downrange at your threat. But again, familiarize yourself with what the laws are in your jurisdiction. Talk with lawyers, read the statutes, talk with police officers. See if they can help you out with that. If your muzzle is downrange at an inappropriate time, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble legally. You can actually be charged with an aggravated assault with a lethal weapon if you do that, so we need to be careful. What do we recommend if there's some kind of a situation that involves what we call legal ambiguity? You're not exactly sure. You know you need to have your weapon at the ready so you're not behind on the reactionary gap, but you're not sure if you can have your muzzle downrange yet. One option for that would be for you to have your weapon in the stool position. So you're still in a compressed high ready position, you're ready to go, but you can articulate. There was some legal ambiguity. I wasn't quite sure where I could have my muzzle pointed, so I made sure I went to a stool position to have my muzzle pointed at the ground. So now you're at the ready, you have some level of legal safety, but you can also get your muzzle downrange very quickly if you should need to.